Hello, and welcome to Awful and Awesome Entertainment Wrap, episode 327. I'm Nainika.
And I'm Abbas.
Abbas is a film critic, and he also hosts a podcast called Has It Aged Well? You can check it out at any of the platforms where you generally find a podcast. So, Abbas, how do you feel coming here back
I
as
wasn't told you were going to do like a formal intro. Also, I'm not a film critic. I go by film enthusiast.
Of course, film enthusiast.
Because critics
Abbas
don't have a
dons-
very good... Huh?
Abbas dons many hats.
Yeah. Critics don't have a very good standing in the industry, and as a struggler myself, I think I should stay away from using that term.
You
So I'm
don't
an
want that
enthusiast,
tag. You don't
not a
want that shadow over you. Yes.
Yes.
You are an enthusiast, a cinema enthusiast. Right. So for this week's episode, we're talking about the movie Fingernails, which is available on Apple TV. We're talking about Indra's Emergency, Anatomy of a Fall, and A House Named Shahana. All these movies Abbas caught at the Geomami Film Festival. And we're also talking about The Marsh King's Daughter and the second episode of Koffee with Karan. So Fingernails is this sci-fi film. It's a romance written by and directed by Christos Nikou. It stars Jessie Buckley, Riz Ahmed, Jeremy Allen White of The Bear fame, and Luke Wilson. Anna, who is played by Jessie Buckley, is increasingly suspecting that her relationship with her longtime partner may not actually be the real thing. So in an attempt to improve things, she secretly embarks on a new assignment, working at a mysterious institute designed to incite and test the presence of romantic love in increasingly desperate couples. It's available on Apple TV for streaming. So, you pretty much guess the plot, that there is a test which can determine whether two people are really in love and compatible or not. And it's, this new institute has come up that has designed this test. And that's basically what the plot is about. Anna initially is with her long-term partner, which is played by Jeremy Allen White. And, they're like the perfect couple. They tested a few years ago. They got a great rating. But now, and everybody expects that if you've gotten a great rating, you're basically together for life and your relationship can continue forever and ever. But Anna doesn't feel so. And that's the basis of the movie. I'll be very honest. I finished it on my second attempt because the first time around I fell asleep. Which is not to say the movie is bad. Sometimes it's nice when a movie can lull you to sleep.
Sure. As someone who's just attended a film festival, I totally agree with that sentiment. Yes.
Sometimes a movie should lull you to sleep. I don't know why we expect this
Yeah.
Marvel-isation of movies where it's all...
Oh my God. Shots fired.
Sorry, I just had to sneak that in there.
Just because I haven't watched Loki.
Absolutely. What else is my role here? The movie was weird. Like aesthetically, it was really weird. And story-wise, it was also not the best. It was a little depressing. It's like, that Sally Rooney-fication of fiction in general or romance in general, where it's like people are just like confused about their feelings and there's a lot of melancholy and it's all grey and there's a lot of raining and you catch the drift. It's just cold deep in the heart somewhere. So the movie felt a little...
I have to ask you, if there was a test like this that actually existed that told you your compatibility with a person scientifically, would you take it?
No, I wouldn't actually. I wouldn't.
Oh. But what if it's just like a test, like you go see your hemoglobin level, you see your blood sugar, so you also see if you're
compatible with your partner or
percentage
not.
with the other person.
Yeah, no, I don't want to find out that sort of information. I feel like it's for two people to discover amongst each other as opposed to be... So, which is the whole premise of this movie also, I guess. Like, sure, you can go get yourself tested, but also love is an exploration between two people where both parties... play an active role and they offer something, take something from their partners, and that's how the exploration of love happens. And so, I wouldn't take a test. Would you take a test like that?
I would, yeah.
Just to be sure.
Because to be sure, to certify if what I'm feeling is actually scientifically true or not.
Ooh.
Like if I feel like I'm falling out of love with a person,
right,
then I need to take a test to tell me that it's around whatever 30-40% and not at a 80.
So you can
and
get,
if it is
so
at an
you
80,
can exercise.
Then why is my body not like why is my mind not in tune with my body? If my body is saying that my love percentage is
That is actually quite interesting. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast and you watch this movie, do get back to us. Tell us what would be your reasoning behind taking or not taking the test, and do you think it would help you?
I mean, we are obsessed with that, right? Because all these flames and the games we used to play as children.
See, I am somebody who can't even do, I don't do dating apps, nothing of that sort, because that thing, like that algorithmization of romance pisses me off so much that I can't even do
Nainika,
it.
Salinization of fiction.
Yeah. I'm
gamification
just
of
like,
love.
bring back having fun. What happened to having fun? Nobody wants
Dating
to have
apps are
fun.
a lot of fun.
They're
You should
not
get on
fun.
them.
They're so annoying. Ugh. Bring back having fun. People just don't know how to have fun anymore, which is why they spend all their time making stupid apps. Right, Abbas. So let's get into Indira's Emergency, which is a movie you have watched and I have not. We have very little
Yes.
overlap this episode.
So Indira's Emergency is a film that I caught at the Mumbai Film Festival, which just concluded yesterday. It's directed by Vikramaditya Motwane, who
Right.
you might know from films like Udaan and Lutera.
Right.
So I was very intrigued because this was his venture into non-fiction, and also the subject matter is we rarely in our popular culture delve into like purely political stuff. So agreed that it's on Indira Gandhi and it's on the Congress leader who are not in power anymore, so you can kind of take a shot at them. But I was very surprised. It's an excellent documentary. I really did not want it to end. That's how good it was.
Damn.
What it does is I think it's very much a documentary visually and cinematically of very much of 2023. When we think of documentaries, especially Indian documentaries, we think of Doordarshan, some
black and
uncle will
white,
tell you-
grainy image.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
There'll be a boring voiceover which will be probably in chaste Hindi. And then it'll
Right.
cut to some professor who will tell you, okay, back in those days, this was and I was expecting that. I was ready for that.
Right.
But as opposed to that, what this film does is there are no talking heads at all.
Right.
So about 80% of the film is just archival footage.
Okay.
And I have to say, whoever sort of the team that has gone on to get the archival footage for this film have really put in everything, because this is footage that I've never seen, like speeches of Indira Gandhi, meetings that she has done with her parliament members, even Sanjay Gandhi's speeches. And it's one thing to get the footage. There's a whole new thing, like it looks crystal clear. It sounds really good. So
they really
they've
put
gone
in
into
the
the
work. Yeah.
They've gone into the archives and really sort of done a great job at that. And then when there is moments where they don't have footage, they've used animation, which is also very well done. So for example, and that animation is used very cleverly. So for example, when Indira Gandhi finally did apply the emergency, there were some cases going on her, and one of the reasons where people speculate she did that was to get rid of those cases. So when they mention the cases, they show Indira entering the courtroom and the judges are like really larger than life. And then when Indira applies the emergency, they go back to that, and then Indira suddenly becomes this really larger than life figure, and the judges are just, cowering before her. So visual cues like those. So narration, there is narration in this film. It's done by...
I did have a few questions. So do you think it dealt with the subject of a dictatorship, which it essentially was during the emergency? Do you think it deals with that sensitively and, doesn't underplay like what it meant for the people of the country to go through a dictatorship?
Not at all. Actually, in fact, there's this one incident where the cops were ordered to shoot at sight at this place called Turkman Gate, where so Sanjay Gandhi's two things were he wanted population control and he wanted slums to go away because he wanted urban development.
Right.
And to get population in control, they used to just pick up people and do their vasectomy. So there's this very infamous incident at Turkman Gate. Read about it if you haven't, which is not very well known.
Right.
And it's actually delved into quite in detail in this film. And the dictatorship aspect of it, yes, they actually go into the law which was under threat at that time, which gave the prime minister such powers that even the president couldn't do much. And then towards the end of the film, it comes back to why those acts were struck down and why the right to live and liberty and freedom as an individual is so important in our constitution now. And why that should never go away, and that whenever that is under threat, the citizen has to wake up and sort of take charge of things.
Yeah.
So it very directly, actually, in fact, the The film ends with an Ambedkar quote where he says,
And this is it for our video bit. We will be continuing with the rest of the podcast, but we will not be doing this on YouTube. You can find us on any of the other audio platforms. The things that we'll be covering after this segment would be Anatomy of a Fall, A House Named Shahana, The Marsh King's Daughter, and the recent episode of Coffee with Karan. See you there. Bye-bye.
News Laundry and
The News Minute
will be hitting ground zero together, where our team of reporters and producers will bring you authentic and nuanced election coverage.
So contribute now.
Log on to newslaundry.com/election fund and help us make election coverage great again.
Because we are stronger together.